unnecessary risks. Like obviously if it's one of those like, hey listen, you could potentially die if you fly today, well obviously I don't want to die, you know, so let's not
Let's
not do that as an option. But there's no reason why a normal instrument-rated commercial aviator should be nervous about flying into the basin, flying into clouds in an aircraft that's rated for instruments. There's going to be some, let's say, more tension. So while I understand that nervousness shouldn't be a thing, tension, yeah, like you're going to have a still cockpit, people are going to be a little bit quieter, which is, I don't know if you can tell already, is my issue. I'm not good at keeping my mouth shut. But that's just all things to consider. You got to be very, very focused inside on your instruments. Well. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of flying over the next several months. I'm not a good video editor, certainly not yet, which means that there's a good chance these videos just go on unedited. I'll try not to, like again, say anything obscene or vulgar while I'm talking, so that there's no reason to try and edit the videos out. Yeah, I like jokes. I like joking around. I always thought the idea of flying would be fun, but when I was growing up, I had terrible eyesight, so I assumed it was a no-go. I was able to get LASIK when I was in the Air Force. Tried to be an F-15 pilot for a few years there. Turns out you got to be very smart and very qualified to do that, and I'm neither of those things. So then called up the Army, and they're like, "Hey, we'll take anybody with a heartbeat to fly helicopters." And I was like, "That sounds like my gig right there." And I say that jokingly. Some of the smartest people I've ever met are in the Army, and I met them in flight school. And then again, some of the dumbest people I've ever met are in the Army. So take that for how you will. And Bakersfield Municipal Traffic, Grumman November 1551 Romeo is 10 miles to the south, going to be transitioning over the airfield at about 4,000 feet. Grumman 51 Romeo, and that's for Bakersfield Municipal Traffic. Alright, so one of the great things for you guys about me not being able to edit my videos is that you're going to see all the mistakes I make. So radio calls, definitely got to clean those up a little bit. Brevity has never been my strong point. I usually use 10 words to say what needs to be said in 5. Again, I'm not trying to lie to anybody about my skill level. Again, I have 377 hours. That's about 40 hours of fixed wing, about 330 hours of helicopter time. I have about 120 hours in a simulator that counts towards Army times, but that's a whole nother argument. Doesn't count towards the FAA. And all of that to say, I still make quite a few mistakes. I'm still learning. I can always accomplish what I need to get done. I just cannot necessarily do it as expeditiously as other people. So, working on that, working on cleaning some of those radio calls up, making sure that those look good. That's where I'm at. There's a little private airstrip right ahead of me. Yeah, that might be it. Alright, flying directly over the private airstrip. Private airstrips do not generally have CTAF frequencies. There's no reason to call out on them, almost at all. But it's just some guy with a lot of land decided to pave himself a runway, probably for crop dusting out here. A lot of crop dusters, quite a few. Yeah, it always looked like a lot of fun. Tried to see what being a crop duster would take, and it turns out they require like 2 years of working crews on the ground for basically minimum wage, and it's where I'm at in my life. I cannot afford to go try and be a crop duster, no matter how many flight hours I get, so that dream may sail pretty quick. Also,
traffic Skyhawk 63177, 10 miles 2V south, inbound Porterville.
Alright, so that traffic is to Porterville. It's, ironically enough, is our next stop. Bakersfield Municipal Traffic, Grumman November 1551 Romeo is 5 miles to the south, going to be transitioning midfield, 4,000 feet, headed to the north. Bakersfield Municipal Traffic. Alright, and I call out on Bakersfield Municipal. I don't really call out on Meadows Field. I should call out on Meadows Field. I'll call out on Meadows Field. 1181. 1181. And Meadowsfield Airport, Grumman November 1551 Romeo is 5,000 feet, about 10 miles to the south. Going to be transitioning up to 65 towards Porterville, Meadowsfield Airport.
2 calling out 1, Grumman 1551 Romeo Bakersfield Tower, altimeter 3019er. Verify you wanted to be inbound to Meadows?
Meadows negative, I'm going to be transitioning up to 65. I apologize, I kind of figured you guys would be closed at this time. But anyway, so yeah, Grumman November 1551 Romeo, 5,000 feet, 10 miles to the south, transitioning up to 65 towards Porterville through your airspace.
51 Romeo, you were kind of stepped on there at the end. Your class Delta transition is approved.
Transition approved, thanks so much. 51 Romeo.
There are 2 calling on ground, a citation.